Hello, I hope everyone can hear my voice. Just a second. Everyone can hear my voice. I hope you can hear my voice. Hello. Hello. I hope you can hear my voice. Okay, thanks for the confirmation. So, hey everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today, as you have seen in the thumbnail, we will be just live streaming the Perseverance rover landing, which is landing after almost its 8-month journey, starting from 30th July. I'll be just showing some good information regarding the Perseverance rover till NASA just makes it stream live, so we can watch the live stream. First, I will better show some videos about the landings. Sorry for the lag.
Nothing can be taken for granted when you get to Mars. There's a lot of things we just don't know.
Space always has a way of throwing us curveballs and surprising us.
I mean, until we get the data that says we're on the ground safely, I'm going to be worried that we're not going to make it.
Entry, descent, and landing is often referred to as the 7 minutes of terror because it takes about 7 minutes to get from the top of the atmosphere of Mars to the ground safely.
The spacecraft has to do all of this by itself.
There are many things that have to go right to get Perseverance onto the ground safely.
There's a lot counting on this. This is the first leg of our sample return relay race. There's a lot of work on the line.
Starting about 10 minutes before atmospheric entry, we get rid of really the spacecraft part of the rover that's been supporting us.
We come screaming in to the Martian atmosphere at 12 to 13,000 miles per hour.
And the heat shield is what dissipates all that initial energy through friction.
The vehicle will continue actually flying itself through the atmosphere. It's sort of like a transforming vehicle that went from a spacecraft and now it's kind of like an aircraft actively guiding itself.
When we're going slow enough, we deploy a parachute.
The biggest supersonic parachute we've ever sent to another planet. It's critical for slowing down the vehicle.
Perseverance's entry, descent, and landing borrows heavily from that of Curiosity.
But fundamentally, Perseverance is a different rover. She's bigger, she has different instruments.
We've added a lot of smarts on the inside to make it more capable so that it can deal with the landing site that we've given it.
The science team identified Jezero Crater as basically an ancient lake bed and one of the most promising places to look for evidence.
And then that's when the real mission begins.
Hello. So what the video we just seen is like of the 7 minutes of the landing will be there, right? So the video of what you saw, like the Perseverance entering the Mars atmosphere till the landing just takes only 7 minutes. So this 7 minutes just determines the whole mission's output. And we just showing another video related to the same, like it's an animation done by the NASA. If there is somewhat lag, let us see. Just a minute. Yes. And just be showing another video where this is an animation of the landing by NASA. A 3 minute and 10 second video. So this was another video regarding the same animation. They just showed what will happen from the entry phase to till the landing phase, and the rover just detached from the what you say the cruise vehicle, with which it came to the Martian surface. Hope we are live once again. Yeah, I'll just show it again for the convenience, because this is what you need for just visualizing the landing of the Perseverance rover. Is there the same lag again? Did you get the same lag again? Lauren Kid, you can will watch the landing once the NASA just gets the stream back on live. That is there after 20 minutes. We'll just start the live stream of the NASA. Till then, I will be just providing with the some extra information just to make you cope up with the landing. After about 20 minutes, the official live stream will just go live. See this live stream I was talking about. It's after 21 minutes. Now I'm just show you some PDF which were available on the NASA website. That is specifically for Mars. They have a website called mars.nasa.gov. There's some net connection issue. Yeah, I'll just correct the all these issues in the next live stream. Sorry for the inconvenience. So this is the NASA's Mars Exploration Program website. If you want to just know anything or everything about Mars, they just have everything on this website. You can just note down mars.nasa.gov. See, they have also provided all the information about the previous rovers and orbiters. They currently have three orbiters. One is among which one of them is the Maven orbiter, which entered the orbit in 2013, somewhat 1 week or before or after India's Mangalyaan. And about the inside, what is the soul? Soul is nothing but one Martian day. It is somewhat about 24 hours and 30 minutes if you just compare it with an Earth day. Curiosity has already passed 3035 souls on Mars. 1 year in Mars. I have to do this jugaad. Yes, you just got excellent connection again. So this is the landing press landing kit. That's what they release for the public to just know about the landing. We'll just go briefly in the sense, just since we have only about 15 minutes, we'll just what you say see the PDF. Starting, they are given some 7 unique facts about the Perseverance rover. One more unique fact is they are carrying a helicopter known as Ingenuity. What is the significance? They will just try to over this helicopter for about somewhat 90 seconds. They can only just make it fly in the Martian atmosphere. You know that Martian atmosphere and atmosphere are somewhat very different, and the gravity is also there is a difference. We'll just be seeing about 7 things you have to know about the Mars Perseverance mission. It is searching for signs of ancient life, because we have several theories regarding how the Mars was formed. I mean, how the Moon was formed, but you can't just rely on the theories. You just need some practical data. So what will this Perseverance do? It will just take some soil. What you will get the Martian soil. It will just analyze. I mean, there is a small laboratory just digged up in the Perseverance rover. Yeah, the same. Past microbial life means if there was some life on Mars, we can't just say there was no life on Mars. There might be some life on Mars also, right? So it will also just check whether there were some signs. I told like there was a mini laboratory dug up in the Perseverance rover. Important data about Mars geology and climate. As you have seen in the Martian movie, you just know about how the tough is the Martian storms and all, right? We'll just see about the Mars geology and climate. Some rovers have also been damaged to the Martian, what you say, storms. Yeah, scientific speed. First leg of round trip to the Mars. Since NASA and America, particularly NASA and SpaceX, are just aiming to colonize Mars. I mean, not colonize in that manner, just to make it habitable for humans, to preserve the human species. They will just see whether it is suitable for what is human missions to the moon and Mars, because you have to just travel to Mars to a long time. You have to arrange some resources there. After going, you can't arrange resources for humans. You need a separate oxygen, food, and extra. You need so much extra good facilities. I hope you got it till now. Media services and all you don't need. Eyes on the solar system. You can just there's one app actually. You can just navigate the Perseverance in real time. Like even the Hope Mars mission, which US Mars mission just entered the orbit last week. They also did the same. Mission names, rover name was Perseverance. It was submitted by some Alex Mather. They actually hosted a competition for kids in America to name the rover. So even we'll just go about the Perseverance rover characteristics. It's about 1025 kg, about a ton, and we just 10 feet long, not including the arm. 10 feet long in the sense this one, 9 feet wide. This here to this, and this 7 feet tall, 2.7 meters wide and 2.2 meters long. We'll just see the payload instruments. Means they are some experimental instrument. Like even in Chandrayaan, we have some experimental instrument. Like we just send to analyze if there is some water. They are known as payload. Payload. They go with the spacecraft to just instruments, in the sense you will use spacecraft. We generally do not send just for orbiting. We send for some scientific objectives. So these are the payloads like Mars cams, at some camera, environmental dynamics analyzer, Mars oxygen in situ resource utilization experiment. There is some experiment. X-ray lithochemistry. I think lithochemistry is rocks chemistry. That what you say, Martian rocks chemistry. Mars subsurface. I mean, they are also checking what's there in the subsurface of the Mars. Super cam, organics and chemicals. Actually, it also has a nuclear thermoelectric generator. See, radioisotope. They are using the plutonium 238 to generate a steady flow about 110 watts of electricity. There are about 25 cameras to the late planet, so thus they can get the visualization of the whole Martian planet. They have also given where are these cameras located, like 19 cameras on the rover, of which color cameras are for engineering, 3 cameras for entry, descent and landing. after somewhat after an hour of landing, I think they might release that landing footage like they did for Curiosity in the year 2012. The other color camera for other payloads also they need. Launch was on July 30, 2020. Launch site, Florida, US. The Atlas just carried it. Surface mission, you can just go to this PDF. I think I will just provide the link of this PDF after this live stream. Vibhav, sir, are we expecting samples back here or is it a full-fledged lab? I think we may not expect it back, or I think it may just preserve the experimental, what you say, it will just collect that rocks, and whenever we get to the Martian surface, we can just collect it from the Perseverance rover. I think in the Martian movie also, that Viking or some rover, it actually collected some instruments when the astronauts came. So not like a full-fledged lab, like a normal rover, like even Chandrayaan also. It will give some data. Like we have some special spectrum for some elements, emission spectrum and absorption spectra. Based on that, we will get some which elements are there, like we do in normal spectroscopy. Samples back in the sense, whenever we get there, we should just back. Not like what China just did with the moon. About 2 weeks back, I think China went to moon, took some rock samples, and they returned back to Earth. I hope it's clear. And just told water in you. I don't know whatever it's there. And this is another visualization of the entry of the Perseverance rover. E minus 10 minutes means there is some CE plus 0 minutes means at the time there is an atmospheric entry, means is the space, outer space. This is the Martian space. There is no writing. Okay. After about 80 seconds, just to get some peak heating, like when you might have just seen some spacecrafts when they are entering the Earth's atmosphere, they'll be lighting up like anything, right? This is due to the friction and the atmosphere. What you say is atmospheric friction. Okay. Peak deceleration, when just you're falling, it will be during the great acceleration due to gravity. Here the case is it is due to the gravity of the Mars. So in order to stop that deceleration, acceleration, you should also deaccelerate. This sort of the guided entry. After this, it's all calculated, like second to second, minute to minute, meter to meter, parachute deploy. This they are given similar to E plus 260 seconds, means there will be some timestamps called 260.1 second. That the calculation must be that much perfect if you are just attempting to landing on Mars. You can't just say land on Mars and all. Even the moon, in the same case of the moon also, one point, even the millisecond, nanosecond, even a small part of the second also matters. It can just change the whole mission. Radar locket. See, this is all what they have inputted in the Perseverance rover. Means the same thing we did for the Vikram. We just input it on map. It will just scan whether everything is good, and then it will land. See, this is the Jezero crater where it is planning to land. It's the same other visualization. In case of any problem in this landing site, it will just fly away, and there is an alternate landing site, another one also. There will be some 2 to 3. They have just given the timestamps. So rover touched down 3:55 p.m. That is nothing but I think I have mentioned 2:55 a.m. in the Indian Standard Time. Just see, it's about 17 minutes from the cruise stage. After the atmospheric entry, it's just 7 minutes. This 7 minutes is just going to determine whether Perseverance is successful or not. I mean, not in that context. It already went till Mars. That's also a great achievement. 10 minutes. The Mars pendulum will shed this. They are just given some technical is this one also you can read if you are interested. Yeah, yeah. Yes, so what about the how the confirmation will come? NASA's deep space even ISRO and other space agency just take input from NASA's deep network antennas because they are that much strong. Is somewhat engineered and expanded ultra high frequency and all. Everyone is excited for the mission, especially for the last 7 minutes, like we had last 15 minutes for our Chandrayaan 2 mission. Is then about the surface phase. Wow, if it touches down in the Martian surface, what it will happen? Like what NASA is just planning to do on the Martian surface. See, first 30 shows what in the sense what it is. First 30 Martian days. Images of the rovers will just after touching down. First with dust covers on, then with the covers off. They will just see whether the wheels are in the correct position. Dust covers in the sense just to protect the wheels from the Martian dust. Mast and Eigen antenna, that is nothing but types of antenna. Images of the landing site. First what it will do, it will just take a 360, not correctly 360, somewhat some images near the landing site and will just send to NASA. Just they will analyze and then they will command the rover to go front, back, everything. Driving the helicopter, that's what ingenuity. See, this is the helicopter. I mean, it's just a schematic diagram of how it will be. After mission, the helicopter's team will have then up to 30 souls to perform a series of flight tests on Mars. Yeah, there is some distance of 100 meters it seems. So there will be some safe area. If anything just happens to it should not happen. If happens to the helicopter, there would be no harm on the Perseverance rover. And this is all about surface operation. It's about the spacecraft again. Just have a 3D. It's not opening my PC, so I didn't just show it. You can just go for the 3D experience and turn it around somewhat like this. This is the making of the Perseverance rover. I hope everything is coming correctly there. We'll be just connecting to the NASA live stream after 4 minutes. Somewhat. This is another one interactive landing packet. I think it's just you can take a printout like what they will give some pamphlets and all. It is like that one is like a textbook. This one is like a summary of what we have just seen. Download the mission pack. This actually we have the mission pack. Watch mission trailer. The one which I showed, I think there was some lag, but sorry for the lag. I will just arrange it next time. And there was some fact sheets also actually how to land on Mars. Learn more about landing and just open the link to the another visual. It is just like a 10x something graph. Why is it called? Okay, leave it. Actually, many of you might have sent your name to Mars. I also got this type of ticket somewhat. So this is your time to redeem the ticket. You can, if you are, in case you just didn't participate, you can fly our next mission to Mars because NASA just keeps sending rovers every 8 to 10 years up to now. This is they have given some facts about the helicopter ingenuity. It is the first test of a power flight on other planet. Even in Moon also, Moon is not a planet; it's a celestial body. That's a different case. Okay, first test of power flight. Obviously, we are just after Earth. We are just more on Mars itself. Actually, we have landed one time on Venus, just and that lander didn't survive because of the acidic atmosphere towards acidic atmosphere of the Venus there. Powerful enough to lift off in the thin Martian atmosphere. The Martian atmosphere is very thin, just the 1% density of the Earth. See, you can just relate. So you can just relate when we have to just go to Mars. The dense, what you see, the one per less than 1% of the density of the Earth. You can just assume how much thin the Martian atmosphere is. So we have many challenges when we go to Mars. That's what science is. That what space science is. Just you have challenges of challenges. You have to just encounter them. Space science is one of the most interesting sciences due to the same. Just don't know. You are just taking risk by going there. You are just investing that much money for what? For the mankind, for the help future of the mankind. We may say, we might not know. After 100 or 200 years, we might be just living on Mars and we might be just talking about this. How was our days on Earth and all. So we can't just say we should not go to Mars and all. I mean, we should just conserve our planet Earth. Or it's not like we will destroy planet Earth and go to Mars. No, Earth is like our what you say mother. We should take care of it also. So this is what I told. It may just fly for up to 90 seconds. So distance almost 300 meters at a time. Will not go like what one time only it will go some kilometers and all. No, even the rover also it does not go with that much speed. It will go somewhat very slow. This is one of the fact sheet. I will just provide all the fact sheets once the live stream is over. I think we'll just connect back to the live stream of the NASA. Yeah, I'll just mute my audio for now.
And liftoff as the countdown to Mars continues. The perseverance of humanity launching the next generation of robotic explorers to the Red Planet.
Welcome to NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory in Southern California. We are gearing up for NASA's Perseverance rover to touch down on Mars. Happening in an hour and a half from now, the rover will attempt to land in Jezero Crater. It is the most difficult landing site on Mars ever attempted. Thank you for joining us. I'm your host, Raquel Villanueva. In the past, mission team members gathered in our mission control for landings. But this time around, we have COVID safety measures in place. Today's landing will look a little different than what you've seen before. I am in a room by myself, and so is my co-host. Here in the Spaceflight Operations Facility, team members are in different parts of this building. Some are in mission control, others are upstairs for landing operations. We also have isolated rooms for our guests on this show. In total, we have 8 locations covered by 14 robotic cameras that you will be seeing. One of those locations is the dark room, the heart of NASA's Deep Space Network. Think of it as a giant communication switchboard. This is where spacecraft phone home to us from across the solar system and interstellar space. The Deep Space Network has been tracking Perseverance since it left Earth, and there are lots of ways you can watch landing today. We have a 360. También tenemos un programa en español. To tell us about it is host Diana Trujillo, who also works on the mission.
Thank you, Raquel. We're so excited to be the sister live broadcast in Spanish. Sintonízate nuestro programa en las redes sociales de Twitter, YouTube y Facebook en la NASA en español para que nos acompañes a un tour virtual de la NASA con entrevistas con astronautas, con participación de artistas, con entrevistas con científicos e ingenieros de Perseverance, con Plaza Sésamo y mucho más. ¡Te esperamos!
Gracias, Diana. And don't forget, we want to see how you are watching the landing today. Use the hashtag Countdown to Mars to send us your photos and videos. To preview what interviews are coming up is my co-host from the JPL News Office, Marina Jurica.
Thanks so much, Raquel. The excitement is building behind me right here in Mission Control as we count down to the Perseverance landing. We will be talking to some of the many people who made today possible, from scientists to engineers on the Mars 2020 Perseverance rover team to folks from NASA headquarters giving us a look into the future of Mars exploration. A little later, we will also be speaking with the students who named the rover and the helicopter. Inspirational stories as we prepare for another landing on the red planet. Back to you, Raquel.
Thanks, Marina. Let's give a shout out to the students around the nation learning about Perseverance's mission to Mars with their teachers. We're happy you're with us on this exciting day. Later in the show, we will be answering some of the questions you submitted through your classrooms. Landing on Mars is complex. The team will be calling out milestones as they happen. It's fast-paced, and you'll hear lots of technical terms. To help us translate and explain what is going on in Mission Control is Swati Mohan. She is part of Perseverance's landing team. Thanks for guiding us through landing today, Swati.
Hi, Raquel. I'm happy to be here today.
So, Swati, what is the status of the Perseverance rover right now?
So Perseverance is still in space right now, about 9,000 miles from Mars. So far, she is healthy and on course.
And it takes time to send signals between Earth and Mars. Can you let us know how that affects the information you are seeing?
Mm-hmm. So Mars is about 127 million miles from Earth right now. That means it takes about 11 minutes from light to travel from Mars to Earth. So all the information that we receive from Perseverance actually happened 11 minutes ago. So the round trip is 22 minutes for us to send a command to Perseverance and hear back on the ground that she's received that command. This is what we call two-way light time.
That's good to know. And can you tell us who else is in the room with you right now?
The operations team is split into 2 different areas. Here in the cruise mission support area, we have primarily the team that has been flying Perseverance from Earth to Mars. You'll see the placards with the roles of each of the people by their stations. Some of the people you may hear talking today are the flight director, who is the conductor of our operations orchestra here, the entry, descent, and landing activity lead, who is a member of the landing team tasked with understanding the execution of entry, descent, and landing. And then also the telecommunications and entry, descent, and landing communications engineers who will be monitoring the signal from Perseverance through the different paths that we have. Upstairs, in what we call the war room, we have almost the entire entry, descent, and landing operations team. And then across the hall from them, we have the surface mission control room, where the surface operations team is ready and waiting to take over as soon as Perseverance's wheels touch the ground.
And you have been part of this mission for years now. Can you tell us what have you been working on?
I've been working on Perseverance for almost 8 years now as a guidance, navigation, and control engineer, working primarily on entry, descent, and landing. One of my big tasks was to help with terrain relative navigation. Perseverance will be the first mission to fly terrain relative navigation. So while she's descending on the parachute, she'll actually be looking at the ground with a camera, seeing where she is with respect to the Martian surface, and choosing a safe spot to land that she can get to. After so many years of working on the mission, it's an honor to be here today as the mission commentator.
We're happy to have you here. Thanks, Swati. We'll be checking back in with you in just a few minutes as Perseverance approaches its next milestone.
Sounds good.
But for now, let's learn more about the rover's mission once it lands on Mars.
You know, Mars is the closest place that we can reach with robotic exploration that we think had a really good chance of having ancient life.
The Perseverance rover will land at a location called Jezero Crater. Jezero Crater is a very interesting place. It's a crater that once held a lake.
There are a lot of craters on the surface of Mars that could have once hosted ancient lakes, but not every crater that we think had a lake actually preserves evidence that that lake was there.
It had an inflow channel and it had an outflow channel. That means it was filled. The crater was filled with water.
In Jezero, we have probably one of the most beautifully preserved delta deposits on Mars in that crater.
This is a wonderful place to live for microorganisms, and it is also a wonderful place for those microorganisms to be preserved so that we can find them now so many billions of years later.
There is no other place on Mars that has the unique combination of a lake setting, a beautifully preserved delta, and the diverse mineralogy that we have in Jezero Crater. So it's truly a special landing site.
The major goal of the Perseverance mission is to investigate astrobiology on Mars, and in particular, to address the question of whether life ever existed on Mars. The Perseverance rover starts with a design that's very similar to Curiosity. We've added to it a whole new set of science instruments, and these science instruments are purposefully selected to help us in the search for biosignatures.
We're going to be taking microphones with us. For the first time, we're going to have that human sense on another planet.
Perseverance carries with her a grand experiment in spacefaring technology, a helicopter, the name of which is now Ingenuity.
One of the major upgrades that Perseverance has from Curiosity is that it's able to self-drive for a distance of up to 200 meters per day. As the rover is driving, it's literally building the map of the road it's driving on Mars.
Scientists for years have told us that to really unlock the secrets of Mars, we have to bring samples from Mars back to Earth.
So what Mars 2020 is going to do is to drill samples, put them in small tubes. We're going to seal it in its own individual tube. We set them on the surface to provide a target for the second two missions, which hopefully will get in development in the next several years and could potentially get the samples back to Earth by 2031.
Perseverance is a very, very profound first step in both our understanding of our place in the universe and a stepping stone towards human exploration on Mars.
You are watching live Mars landing commentary, and Perseverance is about to reach another important milestone. Swati, can you tell us what is happening?
We are at a milestone where the operations team determines whether they're ready to turn off the transmitter to Perseverance. Turning off the transmitter is like taking your hands off of the wheel. At this point forward, Perseverance would be on her own to execute entry, descent, and landing over 500,000 lines of code. Let's listen in.
Go. Propulsion. Go. Art lead. Go. Team chief. Go. Ace. Go. Launch cruise phase lead. Go. Deputy mission. Go. EDL phase lead. Go. Mission assurance. Mission assurance is go. Chief engineer. Chief is go. Project manager. Projects go. Mission manager. All stations are go for transmitter off. Copy flight. Go for transmitter off.
There you have it, Raquel. We have deemed Perseverance ready to execute entry, descent, and landing on her own.
Thank you, Swati. As we just heard, Perseverance is now operating on its own as it cruises closer to Mars. To help explain what this mission means for the agency is NASA's Associate Administrator, Thomas Zurbuchen. Thomas, this is our 5th rover sent to Mars.
Looking around, doing analysis to the sample return phase, in which we're not only looking around, looking at the geology, but really turning our rover into a robotic geologist and astrobiologist, collecting samples that we will bring back to Earth. And for us, of course, those are where the best laboratories are of all of humanity. Some of them still remain to be explored by some that are not yet in the science community yet. And that's what we're looking forward to. It's that new phase. The other element that I want to talk about is the amazing technologies that are there. And of course, one of my favorites is the Ingenuity helicopter, this in search of this extraterrestrial Wright brothers moment, controlled flight for the first time elsewhere, Raquel.
Great. And we have a student question on video for you from Macy.
Hi, my name is Macy Ragsdale. My question is anything alive on Mars? Thank you.
Well, Macy, I'm so glad for your question. That's a question I ask myself. Is anything alive there? And frankly, at the surface where we're going right now with Perseverance, we do not believe there's anything alive right there because of the radiation that's there. It's chilling cold and there's really no water there. But guess what? We think that 3 billion years ago, this looked like a stream that you may see on Earth. And frankly, a lot more similar than Earth, with water with a magnetic field, just like the Earth with an atmosphere. And the question is, at that time, 3 billion years ago, were there single-cell organisms, just of the type that developed on Earth? So is there life on Mars overall? We don't know. But where we're going right now, we're really looking for ancient life. And that's what we're so excited about.
Thank you for your time today, Thomas. And thanks to everyone who has been using the hashtag Countdown to Mars. Here are some of the photos that you've sent in so far. Let's take a look. Now, please keep sharing with us how you are watching this moment today. For now, let's go back to Swati for an important update to what's going on in mission control as we get closer to another milestone.
Hi, Raquel. This next milestone is a communications poll. So during landing, not only will Perseverance talk directly to Earth, but we'll also be talking to 2 spacecraft that are currently orbiting Mars, the Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter and the MAVEN spacecraft. This poll is to confirm with the Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter spacecraft and the MAVEN spacecraft teams that they are ready and on track to support the relay from Perseverance. Let's listen in.
EDL comm flight.
Go flight.
Have you performed the comm check and readiness of the orbiters?
We have performed the voice check and the readiness poll and can confirm that MRO, MAVEN, EDA, Radio Science 1 and 2, UHF, DTE, CSN, and EDL GDS are all ready to support.
Copy, EDL comm.
So we've just heard that we have confirmation from each of the different orbiters and all of their support equipment on the ground that they are ready and are on track to support the relay from Perseverance.
Great. Thank you, Swati. And we just heard that communications readiness poll, which means we are ready to relay the data Perseverance will send to get a better idea of what the rover looks like as it approaches Mars. We have a NASA program called EYES. The visualization lets anyone watching track Perseverance. Here's how the program works.
Follow Perseverance on its journey to the surface of the red planet with eyes on the solar system. From your desktop or mobile device, go to eyes.nasa.gov. Click on the banner, and now you're with Perseverance in real time through every step of EDL, entry, descent, and landing. This interactive experience lets you ride along from whatever perspective you choose. Click and drag, scroll in, scroll out. Check out the descriptions and explanations to increase your EDL expertise. Experience every entry, descent, and landing event precisely designed and executed to land Perseverance safely on Mars. The EYES experience is based on predictive data, but during this broadcast you'll see a different visualization called Ranger, and it's based on the real communication the team in Mission Control receives from Perseverance in near real time. This is the visualization the team will follow as data fills their screens while monitoring the health of Perseverance on its nerve-wracking course to another successful Mars landing. Enjoy the ride.
You are watching live Mars landing commentary. Stepping outside Mission Control to talk to us is Perseverance system engineer Matt Sumedh. Thanks for joining us today, Matt.
Hey, Raquel.
Well, coming from Mission Control, we are going to hear terms related to landing. Can you help us understand what some of them mean?
Sure, definitely. One thing you'll hear a lot about is telemetry. So telemetry is just our way of talking about data that's coming from the spacecraft and telling us important things like temperatures on the vehicle, pressure, how much fuel we have left, and other things that we need to understand for the health and safety of the vehicle. You'll also hear the word nominal, hopefully. Nominal means everything is expected, everything is okay, we're good to go. You'll hear also a lot about velocity and deceleration. So velocity is just our speed combined with the direction we're going. And deceleration is our slowing velocity. So we're coming in at over 12,000 miles per hour, and we're going to slow down to a nice, comfortable 2 miles per hour at landing, and that's our deceleration. Speaking of landing, you may hear a couple important terms at landing itself. One is RIMU stable. So the RIMU is a device on the rover that measures the rover's orientation and whether it's moving. So we want a nice stable landing spot without any motion. You'll also hear UHF stable, hopefully. UHF stable refers to good telecommunications link with the rover and indicates that we've had a good separation between the descent stage and the rover after the sky crane maneuver. Finally, you may also hear Tango Delta nominal or touchdown nominal. That means we've touched down on the surface of Mars within the expected range of safe landing speeds.
Thanks for that breakdown. Now, this is your first Mars mission. What have you learned from this experience?
Yeah, one of my takeaways is that you can almost never be too careful when it comes to Mars. You definitely can't take Mars for granted. You know, we've checked and double checked and triple checked everything on our way to Mars. And, even though we've done this once before using the sky crane technique on the Curiosity rover, I think everyone's going to have everyone's going to hold their breath until we're on the surface of Mars this time around.
And we have a social media question coming in. Nor the Door on Instagram asks, how complicated is the automated landing sequence and who wrote the code?
Yeah, it's quite complicated. The automated landing software needs to do literally hundreds of things all on its own, just right with sub-second timing accuracy. And it's the result of many hundreds of people over many years, stretching all the way back to Curiosity, and then improved for the Perseverance landing today at Jezero Crater.
Great. Thanks for your time today, Matt, and good luck.
Thanks.
Now, landing on Mars is hard. Landing on Mars during a pandemic is even harder. The team behind the Perseverance rover faced one of its biggest challenges when the coronavirus pandemic struck. Here's how they kept the mission going.
When the pandemic struck, the future was certainly unknown. It was like walking into a blind, dark alley. You didn't know what was there, what was in front of you, what you were going to have to deal with.
It's something that nobody expected. It's something that nobody could plan for.
So we all were asked to start working from home.
Rather than your first priority being mission success and getting to the launch pad, your first priority immediately gets displaced, and it's now the safety of the people.
And it took a lot of work to put stuff together in order to keep momentum going, to keep people working safely, keep them healthy, and to keep the project on schedule.
We called the effort Mars 2020 Safe at Work, and the objective was to keep the team as safe or safer than they would be if they were not working. You know, putting a spacecraft together that's going to Mars and not making a mistake, it's hard no matter what. Trying to do it during the middle of a pandemic, it's a lot harder.
And liftoff. As the countdown to Mars continues, the perseverance of humanity launching the next generation of robotic explorers to the Red Planet.
Certainly never done something like this before. Try to lead a team that's flying a spacecraft on the way to Mars while getting ready for landing, while doing it all from home.
There's no doubt that working in isolation, not virtual isolation, but in physical isolation from everyone else, is a challenge.
We had to rethink and redesign what it meant to operate a spacecraft in flight when we couldn't all be in the same room in mission control, seeing the data come down from Perseverance.
It was a major change going to that, looking at everyone on a screen instead of in person.
Because of the pandemic, you can't, just pop over your cubicle wall and talk to the person next to you.
It's definitely been a challenge to figure out how to communicate and get everything done remotely, but we've managed to make it work.
We are explorers. Our job is to go into the unknown. And this is just another example of the unknown.
We're really doing something that's transformative and trying to understand whether or not life evolved on another planet. That's the fundamental objective of this mission.
We're all still connected by this incredible mission and this wonderful team that we have the opportunity to be a part of. So that keeps at least me going.
Pretty much everybody that I've talked to that's associated with the mission has said the same thing, which is you could not have come up with a better name than Perseverance.
It's an amazing serendipity. We get to persevere through working on Perseverance.
Joining us now is Perseverance Deputy Project Manager Matt Wallace. Matt, just how ambitious is this mission, and how does this team stay on track with unexpected challenges like the pandemic?
Well, it's a very ambitious mission. We're carrying not only a host of new, extremely capable science instruments to do that science mission that we've talked about, but also a number of technology experiments to provide feed-forward information into the next set of robotic explorers or even human exploration of Mars. So there's a lot for us to do. We look a lot like Curiosity, but in fact we're carrying 50% more payload down to the surface of Mars, and so it's been a big challenge. And it was particularly challenging when the pandemic struck. It came at a critical time in our processing. We were just months away from launching. We're trying to essentially get the spacecraft assembled, do the final tests. Did not have a lot of margin in our schedule. And our focus just entirely shifted from that to keeping the team safe and keeping their families safe. And we had to do that quickly, to make the adjustment quickly. I think, we got through it with a lot of help. A lot of people stepped up to make it happen. The team was tenacious, and we managed to get it launched and fly it to Mars. Thanks to a lot of help.
And Matt, just how large is the team that worked on Perseverance?
It's a big team. A couple thousand people here just at JPL, in fact, have worked on the mission. And then almost every other NASA center has contributed in some significant and critical way as well. We have over 1,000 industry partners that have provided hardware into this mission from 44 different states, 60 different cities, and of course we have international contributions from Europe and many other international providers as well. So it's a big team. It's taken a lot of people to get us to where we're at.
That is a big team. This is the most difficult landing site ever attempted. Now, why do you think Perseverance is ready to land in Jezero Crater now?
Jezero is tough. I mean, it's scientifically fascinating because it's got a lot of things like craters and, rock fields and cliffs and sand dunes and that sort of thing, which are great for the science community. That's exactly the type of features they're looking for to learn more about Mars. But they're all landing hazards for us. And so we've had to add new technology, relevant navigation, which is the ability essentially to divert away from hazards. But we have taken this system through the same types of paces that we have in previous missions. We've used the same techniques, the same best practices for engineering verification. And in many cases, we've used the same people. This, in fact, is my fifth Mars rover mission, and I'm not alone. There's other people on the project in the same situation. So, the team has given it everything they've gotten to put it all out there and to make this successful, and I think we're ready.
Thanks, Matt, and good luck on your fifth mission.
Thank you very much.
Well, Jezero Crater is a location on Mars that has intrigued scientists for years. Let's head over to Marina to learn more about the science goals of the mission.
That's right, Raquel. Here to explain why we want to go there is Deputy Project Scientist Katie Stack Morgan. Welcome, Katie.
Thanks, Marina. Glad to be here.
Now, Perseverance is landing on Mars at the Jezero Crater. Why is it that you and the team chose this particular area?
Yeah, so scientists believe Jezero Crater is one of the best places on Mars and possibly the entire solar system to look for signs of ancient life. Jezero contained an ancient lake and has within it one of the best preserved ancient delta deposits on the surface of Mars. And deltas form when a river enters a relatively open body of water, like an impact crater, and deposits the sediment that it's carrying into the lake. And we know based on studies of deltas and lakes here on Earth that they're great places to concentrate and preserve organics and support microbial life. We're also excited because Jezero exposes rocks that are between 3.5 to more than 4 billion years old and represent a variety of different geological processes.
Now, this might be a tough choice, but what do you think would be the most rewarding scientific discovery that we expect to get from this mission?
Yes, hands down, I think the most rewarding discovery I think we can make with Perseverance would be finding a truly compelling ancient biosignature on Mars. The rocks in and around Jezero Crater record a period of time when life first arose in the solar system, and we have the opportunity with Perseverance to study the evolution of the planet from a once habitable world likely capable of supporting ancient life to the cold, barren planet we know Mars is today.
And why do you think, Katie, it's so important to find out if there really is or was ancient life on Mars?
Well, the question of whether there's life beyond Earth is one of the most fundamental and essential questions we can ask. And our ability to ask this question and develop the scientific investigations and technology to answer it is one of the things that make us as a species so unique. And based on everything we know about Mars in the past, it absolutely should have been capable of supporting ancient life. So we can find out an answer to the question, where there were habitable environments, was there life? And studying the possible emergence of life on ancient Mars can also help us better understand the conditions that led to life on our own planet.
That's so fascinating, Katie. Now we're going to take a question from a student, Vara.
Hi, I'm Laura, and my question is, why was Mars able to sustain lakes and rivers ages ago, but cannot now? Isn't it cold enough to make water, and isn't it always? Thank you.
Yeah, that is such a great question. And one of the things that protects our atmosphere here on Earth and allows liquid water to be stable on our own planet is the fact that we have a magnetic field protecting that atmosphere. We think that Mars lost its magnetic field way back billions of years ago and left the atmosphere exposed to things like solar winds and cosmic rays that basically blew that atmosphere away. And once that happened, liquid water wasn't stable on the surface of Mars anymore. It was too cold and the pressure was too low. And so now Mars is not capable of supporting liquid water and likely not capable of supporting life at its surface.
Well, thank you so much to Vara for that great question. And a big shout out to all the kids that are watching out there today. And thank you so much to you, Katie, for joining us. That was so great.
Thank you.
Now sending it back over to you, Raquel.
Thanks, Marina. Earlier, we were able to catch up with the communication systems engineer, Chloe Sakier. She helps us break down the system used to track Perseverance during landing.
The communications infrastructure supporting Perseverance's landing is quite complex. We've rallied a truly global network of relay and communications assets to help us capture and record those precious minutes of entry, descent, and landing, or EDL. We receive a stream of engineering telemetry via these communication assets that helps us see and understand exactly what's happening. Perseverance sends direct-to-Earth X-band tones, each of which provides us with indications of critical entry, descent, and landing events. During entry, descent, and landing, we have two Mars orbiters listening for the ultra-high frequency, or UHF, signals from Perseverance. These orbiters relay these signals to deep space network stations on Earth, Madrid in Spain, and Goldstone in California. The Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter, or MRO, has reconfigured its software to perform a type of relay called bent pipe. This will provide us with near real-time telemetry during entry, descent, and landing. We have coverage from the Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter from just before entry to a few minutes after landing. The telemetry we receive will be delayed by the time it takes light to travel from Mars to us back on Earth. Additionally, the Mars Atmosphere and Volatile Evolution spacecraft, or MAVEN, is recording these UHF signals and will be relaying that recording hours after landing. MAVEN will be covering us from around the time of cruise stage separation until a few minutes after landing. We also receive what we call heartbeat tones, which are indications that the spacecraft is alive and progressing throughout entry, descent, and landing. It's important to note.
So guys, we will be just discussing about the other Mars mission to just keep this session interactive. We'll just return to the stream as soon as we finish discussing on the previous live stream, because for about 1 hour they will be just checking what the orbiter, like they will be connecting the orbiter and the Perseverance just to make the landing more comfortable. We'll go to our website then. What I said, Mars, can just, if you're seeing through PC, just do like this, mars.nasa.gov. We'll be just checking about what Curiosity is doing right now, what the Maven orbiter is doing right now, and other two orbiters as they are mentioned here. So I think it's better that we go with the orbiter or the lander. I mean the rovers. If anyone is watching it out there. We'll be back after 30 minutes, just 30 minutes. After that, we'll be just having some nail biting finishes. After all, shall we discuss about the Curiosity and Insight or the orbiters? Because we just 30 minutes. Till then, I'll just show some other one. Then please put what you want to know about the lander or the rovers or the orbiters in the live chat. Surfacing one seem interesting. Okay, then let's go with the Curiosity rover. I think we will have. I think the stream is just back to the health. Yeah. Sold February 17, just 2 days or 1 day before. 2 days. You will just take it 2 days. This is taken by left navigation on board Mars rover Curiosity. Just see the image of beauty Mars is. I think it is the article written by some mission director. Just see, touchdown confirmed. We are safe on Mars. Still burst into tears. So I think the writer is from the what you say the mission control team. They have just given this article what all happened on the Sol 3035 and 3036. Then what we should do? Do you want this much? Curiosity, open link in your app. Okay, then they are given the location also. Mount Sharp Center, which means is some locations in the Mars. It has just traveled 24.4 kilometers from about 8 to 9 years. See, 3035 souls. Last transmission. Next transmission we will be having at 5133 UTC. I think it's similar to GMT, means about 10:30 Indian Standard Time we will be having the next transmission. Means NASA will just collect the data from what Curiosity has did in the gap of 1 day almost. Yes, we have excellent connection. I'll just try to add all this in the next one. We'll go with the future ones. We'll go with the future ones. We'll just see what all they did or the past ones. Just a second. Just a second. I hope it's clear right now. Yeah, we'll go with the future ones first. We have about 10 minutes to just spend here. We'll just read about the sample letter because that was the topic we were discussing in between the video. Okay, there is some I hope you can see the concepts for sample return. Again, यही तो बच्चा है, अब तो आजा तू कहीं से, अब तो आजा तू कहीं से. I can hear my worst voice. Okay, then I can proceed right now. Yeah, concept for sample return. This is one of the topics we were just discussing in between the live stream. They also made a brief plan of what they will do in the sample return. See, launch window in the sense they have to just what you say, they have to launch the spacecraft. The deadline they have set is July 2026. That means they have to launch the sample return lander. And what Earth return orbiter? That means if they send the sample return lander by July 2026, you can't just take the OVA spacecraft and put the OVA spacecraft in the Mars and then just bring the same to the Earth. It's kind of impossible, and it's somewhat like you can they can show in films, right? Even when you just see the Apollo missions, the rocket was that much big. Saturn V was considered as the heaviest and the mightiest rocket, but after while returning, it was just reduced to somewhat the size of a car. You can just take a normal bus. So you can just assume the context city of just assume the complexity of the space landing. Mars arrival, they are planning to arrive by October 21st. That is Mars orbit insertion of the Earth return orbiter. I just got their plan. What they will do is this Earth return orbiter will just be circling around the Martian. What do you say? Mars. This lander will just land on the Mars, take the samples, and just go towards the orbiter. The orbiter will then depart the Mars and then come to Earth, and then they give us the samples. Okay, this one depicts not a finished design, they are just shown. Full image and caption. Okay, sorry. Sample return is designed to continue the work began by the NASA's Mars 2020 rover. That is nothing but the Perseverance rover itself. They are just not changing the name. That's what. Provided by the European Space Agency. Fetch rover, this will be provided by the ESA. You might have just know that even the Cassini mission, Cassini-Huygens, they will just call it as a joint mission. Why? Why? Because the Cassini mission was the mission to the Saturn planet, Shani. What happened is that this Huygens probe main mission was to land on the Saturn's moon called Titan. Titan watch. That's what. The Huygens lander was by what you say European Space Agency, and the Cassini probe was by the NASA. The same plan they are planning to execute the same again. The Cassini is not working as of right now. It just got not like similar to burnt in the Saturn's atmosphere. It was all see okay. As currently envisioned in the sense they are just planned. We can't say updated February 26, 2020. It's about 1 year back. Didn't knew about COVID. Can't just say what we can do. Arrives at Mars in 2028. Real means the Jezero category. The March 2020 rover will be still near the Jezero crater after in 2028 also. Just you can assume. Okay, they have just given some small information. No, this is somewhat similar to this one only. फिर से आजा फिर से आजा फिर से आजा एक बारिया भेजा यार एक बारिया एक बारी ओ आ गया I hope I am back again. मेरे साथ ऐसा क्यों होता है? Which song? I'm very bad at singing. It means I'm live again. No tension. We're discussing about this website. What I'll just reload the website again. We'll just see our present things. We just have about 10 minutes. Then we just have about 30 minutes towards the landing. We'll just finish off the thing. We'll see about Maven because I just like the Maven orbiter mission because it was somewhere launched November 18, 2013, September 22nd, 2014. As I said, its orbital insertion was somewhat before or after Mangalyaan. Mangalyaan's orbital insertion was on I think September 24th, 2014. That's what. It's still operating even though Mangalyaan is also still operating, but the major difference was about the cost between the Maven and Mangalyaan. For discussing about the Mangalyaan, actually the ISRO website doesn't have that much information like what NASA did. I think they might have been still constructing the website. Let's see what happens. Okay, then okay, it got loaded. If I just think, I think you will be always awake. The first spacecraft ever to make direct measurements of the Martian atmosphere. It carried 8 science instruments that are taking measurements of the upper Martian atmosphere. एक बार या फिर एक बार एक्सेलेंट कनेक्शन किया है फिर एक बार yeah. So we are just discussing about the Maven thing and the ISRO thing. We'll be waiting for what ISRO does in the next 4 or 5 years about the connections with the Mars, and rather than just focusing on the moon, we'll be going to other planets like Venus. Just an orbiter to the Venus would also be a major science accomplishment by India. I think we can just track it once we get a good time. We'll be just having a China's Mars landing about in 2 months, as I think. We'll wait till then. China is also landing along with the orbiter. I mean, Chinese mission. Just go back again. Shall we continue on the live stream or we'll discuss it for another 10 minutes? Somewhat. I think the stream will be lagging again. Let's confirm. Or should I play some songs to just keep you motivated? I'll just upload the thumbnail. No, I won't put the songs because I just got a copyright strike for a stream which I did 2 months back. Very much just. I'll be just turning my mic to a lower volume. There might be a chance even you can't hear my voice also because you have to now focus what mission control says, because now it will be some just 40 minutes for Perseverance landing. After about 40 minutes, we'll have Perseverance landing on the Mars. We'll just get the results of the Perseverance mission. Let's begin. I'll be just muting my mic for now. I hope the stream is back again. Sorry for unmuting again. I just wanted to check. Yeah, it's correct, right?
By NASA from a field of more than 28,000 entries from K through 12 students in every state in the U.S. Vanessa Rupani's essay for Ingenuity was so compelling, NASA thought it would be a perfect name for the history-making helicopter, a technology demonstration carried aboard the Perseverance rover. Alex and Vanessa join us now. Welcome, you guys.
Hello, space nerds.
Hi. Now, you got to go to Florida and watch the launch live back in July. Alex, what were you feeling as you saw that rocket launch into the sky?
I read a lot of books written by astronauts, and every single one of them always talks about the raw power behind a space launch. And I definitely feel like watching the launch invoked that sense of inspiration mixed with anticipation, along with that rumble in my chest.
That's very inspirational. And I'm sure that you have had many conversations with your classmates since this all began. Now, what kind of questions have they asked you?
I got some people asking me about what this helicopter is.
I think it's so important for kids to be inspired by space exploration.
Because space is the future, and kids are the future. Learning about space and watching the story of humanity spread to the stars happen is watching the future happen and seeing history unfold.
The best way to keep our home safe and protect our planet is to learn from the worlds around it. So I think it's really important for the next generation of scientists to be engaged in that type of exploration to make our home the best place it can be.
Now, speaking of the future, what has your life been like since naming the rover and helicopter? Has it sparked any future aspirations for the two of you?
Oh man, I am currently applying to a science and technology school for high school. I'm hoping for a NASA internship sometime along the way, with my ultimate goal being to join the incredible team of scientists and engineers who are about to make this happen.
This whole experience has definitely shown me that I want to go into the space industry. I came home from Florida, did all my college applications, and checked aerospace engineering on all the boxes. I mean, the whole time we were there, I was thinking, why would anyone want to do anything else?
So true. And the best of luck to both of you. Thank you so much for joining us here today, Alex and Vanessa.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you so much. I had a great time.
Now, your essays, as well as the top 155 finalist essays, are riding on the Perseverance rover, along with nearly 11 million of the names from all over the world that were submitted before launch. And if you miss the chance to get your name on Perseverance, then you will get another chance to reserve a spot on the next mission to Mars. So make sure that you sign up now at mars.nasa.gov for your boarding pass. As virtual celebrations are happening all over the globe, let's take a look at some of your submissions on our social channels, showing us how you're celebrating the Perseverance landing right now. And remember to hashtag Countdown to Mars and send those in. We would love to show them off. Look at these kids. They are getting so excited. Everyone's watching it. A lot of classrooms are watching it. Oh, and great. Someone did a Lego version of Perseverance, which is awesome. It looks fantastic. We love getting all your pictures out there. We've gotten a lot of artwork from kids, which has been great. I know I have a 9-year-old John at home, and he loves to draw the rover. And look at that. That is awesome. That's better than anything I could bake, that's for sure. Perseverance in a cake. That looks so great. Delicious. I want to get into that. Another great send-in from David Bowie Reel. Thank you so much for your submissions. Remember, hashtag Countdown to Mars. We love to see how you're celebrating. Now, you might know our next guest from shows like Emily's Wonder Lab. Joining me now is Emily Calandrelli. Thank you so much for being here with us today.
Hi, thanks so much for having me.
Now, you are very passionate about getting kids interested in science and space exploration. Why do you think kids are so excited about space?
Well, I know the reason I'm excited about space, and I think it's the same reason that many others are excited about space, and it's that the people in the space industry work to answer two of the biggest questions that humans have ever asked. Are we alone in the universe, and where did we all come from? And by sending a rover to Mars, we are gaining evidence for the answers to these questions, more evidence than we ever had before, and I think that's so exciting.
It is, and I know you get loads of interesting questions from kids. Have you gotten any about Mars specifically?
Oh my gosh, yes. Everybody loves Mars. It's in movies and books and TV shows, and everybody loves Mars. So one of the things that I get asked a lot is that, it's called the red planet. Why is it red? Well, it's red because it's literally rusty.
Have you gotten any about Mars specifically?
Oh my gosh, yes. Everybody loves Mars. It's in movies and books and TV shows, and everybody loves Mars. So one of the things that I get asked a lot is that, it's called the red planet. Why is it red? Well, it's red because it's literally rusty. The top layer of soil on Mars has iron oxide in it, or rust, and rust has that brownish red color. So it's red because it's rusty. And also because it's red, they ask, is it red hot? Is it really hot on Mars? And well, no, actually, it's colder than the Earth. It's farther away from the sun. So as you would imagine, it's a little bit colder than the Earth. It also has a really thin atmosphere. So the heat that it does have, it has a hard time keeping in. And so it's a little bit colder. But then I also get asked, what would I weigh on Mars? That's a really fun question. So on Mars, it's a little bit smaller than the Earth. So the gravity there is weaker. It's about 3/8 the gravity that we have here on Earth. So if you weighed 100 pounds here on Earth, you'd weigh 38 pounds on Mars, or 100 kilograms here on Earth, 38 kilograms on Mars.
Those are all super fun. I think even some adults want to know the answers to those questions, Emily. Now, why do you think it's so important to educate kids about science and give them that great foundation?
Well, science is the language of nature, and learning about science and learning how to think like a scientist means you are learning how to systematically seek out truth in the world. You are learning the scientific method. You're learning how to be a critical thinker. And honestly, those skills are great for whatever you end up wanting to do in life.
True. If you want to be a scientist or an opera singer, that holds true. And what are you most excited about today?
Humans are launching a robot to Mars. That doesn't happen every day. I think in all of the hecticness that is going on today and all of the nerves, I just hope everyone can take a moment to sit back and remember that we live in a time when humans have the ability to send a robot to another planet. And that's so cool to me.
It is very cool, Emily. Take a deep breath. Thanks for joining us here.
Thanks for having me.
Sending it back to you now, Raquel.
Thanks, Marina. We are offering lots of ways to ride along with us to Mars. Now put yourself right into the action now with our Perseverance photo booth. You can pose next to the rover, place yourself in our mission control, and even see what you might look like taking a selfie on the red planet. There, you'll also have a chance to sign up to send your name to Mars on NASA's next flight to the Red Planet. It's all available at go.nasa.gov/Mars 2020 Toolkit. And joining us now is JPL Chief Engineer and landing veteran Rob Manning. He will be breaking down key moments coming up, and very few people know more about landing on Mars than Rob, going back to the Pathfinder mission in 1997. Thanks for joining us today, Rob.
Thank you very much, Raquel, for having me here. And what a wonderful experience. What a wonderful day for a beautiful day in California. We're just all so excited here, anxious, worried, but very hopeful.
Rob, I have a question for you. There is a landing tradition at JPL that involves eating peanuts for good luck. Can you tell us how did that start?
Yes, it started in the mid-1960s. What happened was we had a series of missions that had failures. The Ranger program in the early 1960s, one after another, failed. And what happened was one day, a fellow by the name of Dick Wallace on Ranger number 7, on the 7th attempt, decided to bring peanuts to the ops area just before the launch, and guess what? That mission worked. Now, we're not supposed to be too superstitious. We're engineers and scientists after all, but we love tradition. And ever since then, before launch and before critical events like entry, descent, landing, we have brought out peanuts and shared them with the team. And it's been really a wonderful little experience. And so this is something we're doing right now. And it's something that we just can't help ourselves. It's just part of the experience.
Oh, well, speaking of the experience, how did the Perseverance team keep the tradition alive this year?
Well, this year we're passed out little packets of peanuts to the team, and they can sneak one peanut in their mouth as part of to keep the tradition alive. But this is part of the COVID experience, but we can't leave this one undone. So this is what we're doing, and this is going to help us land safely.
All right, thanks, Rob. I have some questions for you a little later on, but we're heading back to Swati Mohan, who is part of the landing team. She'll be calling out key milestone and events as they happen from Mission Control. So let's listen in right now.
So right now we're still about 20 minutes from entry, and the EDL phase is giving a last-minute confirmation of what will be happening in the upcoming changes to the vehicle, just to remind the team.
This will allow us to steer our trajectory as we make our way through the atmosphere. This is one of the things that allowed MSL, the Curiosity rover, to land where it did. And we're depending on the same type of entry guidance this time around to help get us very close to our target. As we make our way through entry, finish our guided entry profile, we'll do a maneuver called heading alignment, where we point toward the target and get ready to deploy the parachute. But before we deploy the parachute, we need to get rid of a set of balance masses that have been giving us a center of gravity, or CG offset, throughout the guided entry phase. So these are called the entry balance masses. We also call this maneuver SUFR, S-U-F-R, or straighten up and fly right. So we'll go ahead and eject those masses when we get a trigger from the GNC system telling us that we're at the appropriate range to the target to do so. As soon as we deploy those, we will no longer have a CG offset, and we'll be ready to deploy the parachute 17 seconds later.
Right where the Perseverance team is sitting now, what's in store for them as we approach landing?
I'm going to hold here for EDL prep as we're about to start that anchor.
Copy, Pace 2. And activity, please call that out when it's ready. Copy, Flip.
Make the announcement now. Okay. Maggie needs to make the announcement that
All right. Now, Rob, you've been right where the Perseverance team is sitting now. What's in store for them as we approach landing?
Well, this is the nail-biting time. Fortunately, we still have ones and zeros coming, but very soon, as we approach cruise stage separation, the transmitter on this rover we've been using all the way to get to Mars is going to be turned off. So we will lose our ability to see ones and zeros. But the good thing is, once the cruise stage is gone, there's another radio that will continue transmitting a tone, so that like a flashlight, that will allow us to at least see that the vehicle is still on, and that color of that flashlight tells us a little bit what state the rover's in. But soon after that, it won't be very long before we'll be able to hear more ones and zeros coming from the spacecraft. So this is a really exciting time, and it's just important to remind people there's a lot that can go wrong in a day like today. There are thousands of things that have to go right.
Yeah, we had success in the past landing on Mars. You'd think it gets easier, but it really doesn't. Why is it still so difficult?
Well, because it's involved thousands and thousands of things, hundreds of thousands of lines of code. There's 79 pyrotechnic devices. Each have to work perfectly. One critical wire short, or one key thing mechanism that doesn't work or breaks, and it's mission over. And so it's and it's very easy. We're human beings. We're not perfect. Mistakes can be made. We count on each other to find our own mistakes, and we work very hard to learn from the mistakes of the past. We've had many failures. Remind people, roughly half, around half of the missions to Mars over history have failed. And so it's that could happen today too. Even though we've had a nice, wonderful string of successes in the United States, it's still still a bit of a gamble that we have hoped that we have erred in the side of luck, and we've stacked the deck and loaded the dice to make this thing succeed. But if we do fail, and something bad happens today, I can tell you, we're going to learn it. We'll have the data that tell us what happened. We'll know why. We'll figure it out. And if we are allowed, we will pick ourselves up and get us back on the horse. And if Congress and NASA allow, we will try again. As we always do, we will learn from our mistakes.
And what are the possible scenarios we could be looking at today?
Well, there's things like one of the key stressful elements for all of us is parachute inflation. But just even separating from the cruise stage is a pretty major event. Lots of devices have to work properly. Certainly, the heat shield separation, getting the descent engine started. There's no less than 16 rocket motors that have to work. 8 to control during entry, another 8 to control it during landing. I said, it's a lot of stuff, and it all has to work. And guess what? We haven't done this before with this vehicle ever. This is its first attempt to actually land. We can't try this on Earth. We don't have test pilots to try it out on this planet before the big show. So this vehicle is doing it for the first time. We've done the best testing we could do in bits and pieces, but it's as best as we could do. But I think our team is up to it. This team is the best. It's a diverse, intelligent, amazing group of people. People from all over the world who worked on this, not just here in California, but all over NASA, contributors from aerospace, universities, countries around the world. It is just an incredible, remarkable engineering achievement, and I am just so proud of this team.
Thanks, Rob. Now, let's listen back into Mission Control.
Flight, we're about 14 minutes from entry interface. The vehicle is currently preparing the heat rejection system that has kept the thermal system cool inside the air shell for about the last 6 months. This will allow the spacecraft to more easily cut the lines in upcoming cruise stage separation, which is under 4 minutes now.
We have now enabled the Rover Pyro Bus.
That's the pyrotechnic system that's
going to powering off the cruise stage devices.
And these are the things in the cruise stage that we no longer need. With the pyrotechnic system working, we can explode the devices.
The vehicle is preparing for the upcoming cruise stage separation in about 3 minutes 15 seconds by powering off all the devices on the cruise stage in order that they can be safe once the cruise stage is jettisoned.
Yeah, this cruise stage has been very reliable.
We are firing our first pyros to vent the HRS liquid and gas.
This has been the coolant that's kept their vehicle from getting too hot on the way to Mars. We have to vent it into space. And this is one of the first major events that take place as part of entry, descent, landing.
The HRS vent anchor is complete.
Yes.
We will see the next anchor in approximately 3 minutes.
Okay.
We are currently 12.5 minutes from entry interface. We are coming upon cruise stage separation in 2 minutes and 20 seconds.
The things we've taught it how to do, it's all built into the software. We've tested it over and over and over again. This team has spent 24 hours a day, 7 days a week testing this thing for years. And so this is really the culmination of all that work. So this vehicle is getting ready to push that cruise stage away. Once it gets pushed away, the entry system with the rover inside, with the rover still in charge, is going to get ready to take the vehicle, turn it to the right orientation, and aim it to Mars, and prepare for entering the atmosphere. This won't be long. Be prepared for this event.
We're about 1.5 minutes from cruise stage separation. About 11 minutes, 20 seconds from entry interface.
Okay, so it's about 10 minutes from cruise stage separation till entering the top of the atmosphere. From then on out, things happen
We are switching
fast.
to the MFSK tones. Telemetry will have stopped.
Telecom is confirming that the spacecraft has switched to broadcasting tones. These tones are received directly from Perseverance, but have very limited information content. We won't receive real-time information until about 9-10 minutes from now, once the Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter starts relaying information from Perseverance. We are under 1 minute from cruise stage separation, about 10.5 minutes from entry interface.
It's getting exciting. I have to admit, I am quite anxious, but very hopeful that this machine is going to do what we asked it to do.
We are seeing the heartbeat tones.
Okay, that means that there's no more ones and zeros coming. It's just the vehicle telling us it's still alive.
We're continuing to receive tones from Perseverance, standing by for cruise stage separation. We have indication that cruise stage separation has been confirmed by the spacecraft.
We're off on a good start.
In about 1 minute, Perseverance's landing software will wake up and begin the final preparations for entry. The first action it will do is to fire warm-up pulses with its entry thrusters. These pulses ensure that the spacecraft gets the thrust that it wants during entry interface. We're about 9 minutes from entry interface.
Okay, so now the vehicle's on its own. It's turning itself into the direction of facing the heat shield toward Mars, and will eventually hitting the top of the atmosphere. We're not far away. This is going to go very quickly from here on out.
That's confirmation that we got shadowed by the cruise stage as it passed through our beam to the Earth.
Telecom indicated actually that we could see a signal that the cruise stage went between the Perseverance entry capsule and Earth. So we saw a little blip, the data stream indicating the cruise stage separation. We have confirmation that the vehicle has started warming up those entry thrusters. Warm-up pulses have begun. At this point, the spacecraft is trying to stop its spin from the cruise 2 revolutions per minute down to 0, and then will turn to its desired orientation from entry. It will separate the 2 balance masks that has kept it balanced during all of cruise. This will allow the entry capsule to have lift when it enters the atmosphere. We have confirmation that the spacecraft has turned to the desired entry attitude. We are about 7.5 minutes from entry interface.
Okay, the vehicle is pointed in the right direction. The thrusters are warmed up and doing their job. And now we've spun down from the 2 revolutions per minute that the vehicle had the whole way to Mars. It's a spin-stabilized spacecraft.
Yes.
Orientation and attitude via rockets on the back of that back shell.
Points carrier lock. Sorry, and we're the DTE from Radio Science from Green Bank reports carrier lock. They see the carrier on the downlink.
Flight level 1.
We are continuing to wait for entry interface. We're about 6 minutes and 45 seconds from entry interface. We have confirmation from Greenback that they are receiving direct-to-Earth telemetry.
As soon as we get to the top of the atmosphere, it will be very quickly, which is the entry point. It won't be very long before the atmosphere will start getting thicker and thicker. It's going very quickly at a fairly steep angle of 15 degrees into the atmosphere.
The Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter should antenna switching is when the signal from Perseverance isn't strong enough to make it through the superheated, super fast air flowing around the spacecraft all the way down to Earth. Once the temperature drops below that peak heating, we do reacquire the signal from Perseverance. We are currently about 4.5 minutes from entry interface. Perseverance continues to report heartbeat tones, indicating everything is nominal.
Okay, what we're looking for now is Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter should be in view soon of our vehicle and be able to listen to ones and zeros coming from a separate. Okay. Very soon we'll be getting ones and zeros, I hope, from our radio on the rover. The entry interface is nothing more than just an arbitrary place in the sky that we've defined to be above the atmosphere. But from that point on, there's definitely atmosphere, and above it there isn't.
We are 2 minutes from entry interface. Perseverance is to transmit heartbeat tones, indicating everything is nominal.
So the tones can tell us whether something is bad or not is happening. So far the heartbeat is doing well. So the vehicle thinks it's in good shape to land, which is a great sign.
About seconds from entry interface. 5.3 kilometers per second and an altitude of about 150 kilometers from the surface of Mars.
entry.
We have confirmation of entry interface. Perseverance is currently going 5.3 kilometers per second at an altitude of about 120 kilometers from the surface of Mars. The spacecraft is now waiting until it begins feeling the atmosphere of Mars slow it down. Once there is enough atmosphere, it will start controlling its path to the landing target. Navigation is also confirming that we can see a little bit of that slowdown of the atmosphere on the Perseverance entry capsule. Our current velocity is about 5.36 kilometers per second and an altitude of about 67 kilometers from the surface.
We are probably seeing MRO plasma blackout at this point.
The vehicle should be doing its turns right now.
MRO has lost lock.
Perseverance. We have indications that Perseverance is now performing bank reversals in the atmosphere. These are the steps in order to control its distance to the landing target. Perseverance has just passed through the point of maximum deceleration and has indicated that it felt approximately 10 Earth Gs of deceleration.
MRO has lock again.
We saw a small outage of the UHF telemetry from Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter during that peak heating phase, likely caused by the plasma blackout. Perseverance is still continuing to perform bank reversals in the atmosphere to control its distance to the landing target. Perseverance is going about 1 kilometers per second at an altitude of about 16 kilometers from the surface of Mars. We have entered heading alignment, which means Perseverance is no longer trying to control the distance to Mars, to the target on Mars, but instead is flying straight to the target.
Parachute.
Our current velocity is about 550 meters per second at an altitude of about 15 kilometers from the surface.
MRO is reporting good telemetry log.
We are coming upon the straighten up. We are starting the straighten up and fly right maneuver, where the spacecraft will jettison the entry balance masses in preparation for parachute deploy and to roll over to give the radar a better look at the ground.
Yes.
The navigation has confirmed that the parachute has deployed, and we are seeing significant deceleration in the velocity. Our current velocity is 440 meters per second at an altitude of about 12 kilometers from the surface of Mars.
Yes.
Perseverance is now slowed to subsonic speeds, and the heat shield has been separated. This allows both the radar and the cameras to get their first look at the surface. Current velocity is 145 meters per second at an altitude of about 9.5 kilometers above the surface.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Perseverance now has radar lock on the ground. Current velocity is about 100 meters per second, 6.6 kilometers of the surface yard. Perseverance is continuing to descend on the parachute. We are coming up on the initialization of terrain relative navigation and subsequently the priming of the landing engines. Our current velocity is about 90 meters per second at an altitude of 4.2 kilometers.
You did. You led the team. You made it happen, man. Congratulations,
We just got our second image in. Our second image is in.
Okay, these we have a camera in the front and rear of the spacecraft. They're near the ground, so these are pretty close. You can see the wheels there, and they're a little dirty because we've got glass covers over these cameras. But we took these seconds after landing, so there's still dust in the air from our landing event. So this is happening. This happened just seconds ago. Just arrived, and this is really amazing. And we even know where we landed. This is the most amazing thing. The vehicle has told us where it's landed because it figured it out. This is a sign. NASA works. NASA works. And when we put our arms together and our hands together and our brains together, we can succeed. This is what NASA does. This is what we can do as a country on all of the problems we have. We need to work together to do these kinds of things and make success happen.
And joining us now is the acting administrator of NASA, Steve Jurczyk. Steve, welcome and congratulations.
Hey, thank you. What an amazing day.
How does it feel to have another rover on Mars?
It's amazing to have Perseverance join Curiosity on Mars, and what just a credit to the team. I mean, just what an amazing team to work through all the adversity that goes and all the challenges that go with landing a rover on Mars, plus the.
So we just got a confirmation. We were seeing that Perseverance just landed on the Mars, and it's just a moment of pride for the whole mankind, not just America, even India and all the other mankind. Yeah, and America's its fourth or fifth mission, they have landed on Mars successfully. So I will be just ending my live stream here since the stream got lagged at the time of the landing itself, where it should not have been lagged that time. I'll be just ending the live stream now. We'll just check about what all we did wrong next time. Thank you for joining me on the live stream. Please share, like, and subscribe to my channel. Bye.